February men's trip 2019. The big takeaway for me this trip was just that I need to stop worrying about who or how many I bring on the trip. It's all about God putting the people in place to take on the trip. So I'm thankful for these men that came and served, and I hope everybody took a little bit of something away with them. And it was really cool watching God move in everybody's life this week.
It's incremental. Small pieces adding up to something bigger. As we load these shovel loads of dirt and we move each shovel load of dirt on a wheelbarrow, one wheelbarrow after another, one shovel load after another, we're building this foundation of this building. And it's almost impossible to see step by step. But when you step back and see the whole picture, there's something that is created from it. In the same way, we're down here helping 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 kids or families or adults, feeding them one meal. And you'd think to yourself, well, really, what does that matter? What difference are we really making? But it's incremental. And some of these kids are turning into nurses and librarians and teachers. And without each incremental little step, it wouldn't happen. So instead of trying to see this as an event or a goal, it's an incremental process working.
One of the things that impacted me the most was just seeing the kids. I have 3 little girls and a little boy at home, and seeing kids that could have been mine with nearly nothing really impacted me. And we're here today at the Trinity House working with the guys on the construction project to help moms with those kids. And it's absolutely fantastic. It's like a small paradise here. Every tree bears some kind of fruit that they can sell in the market. It flourishes with all kinds of different banana trees and coconuts and mangoes and avocado trees, and it's simply amazing that amongst what seems to be all the chaos, you can find this little slice of paradise here in El Salvador.
I think one of my biggest takeaways was just when we were praying with people and just seeing how they pray down here and how they are praying, with what they're expecting it to happen. Like before anything, they see any fruit of it. Just talking to Daniel and stuff, their prayer has power, and they don't forget that. And so I think for me, it was a really good reminder of how important our prayer is and how much it can really make a difference. So obviously, seeing the people who have nothing and how they hang on to prayer, I think that was one of my biggest takeaways.
So one of my takeaways was the street missions. It's just it's hard to see sometimes when you have young kids out in the street and no place to go, and a lot of them are hooked on shoe glue. Just the poverty of it, it was just kind of mind-blowing to see, shocking. It's kind of reflects back if that was one of my kids, to what extent how will I go to try to help them, and I really appreciate what Daniel and his group in Ciudad Limpia is doing. They really have a heart for this. They're willing to extend as far as they can and really reach out to these people, try to help them as any way they can, whether it's providing shelter or just regular food, or even if they get out of the program, to help them look for a job or anything like that.
What stood out to me in this trip was this big idea of hope. There's so much negative things that you can see very quickly in this country, and a lot of negative things that can happen very quickly in this country. And the people here gravitate toward hope. If it's family, if it's friends, if it's a community, hope seems to be a prevailing factor in a very negative situation that this country possesses. But even in that negative, you see a lot of amazing things happen. People getting together and helping each other out, watching out for each other and caring for each other, because it's all they have. And to know that that hope is there and is flourishing and is becoming contagious is really neat to see.
So while we were down here, I got a chance to help some kids with their math homework, and although we couldn't speak the same language very much, it was fun to be able to pick up on the Spanish words that I knew, and they had a couple English words that they knew, and we still laughed together and had fun. Ended up trying on my glasses and then switching, and each wearing my glasses, which was pretty fun, just to kind of connect, and they could connect with me and I could connect with them, which was really neat. So it's been fun going into each community and seeing all the children and being able to play hand clapping games and teaching them some of those that I know, and yeah, it's just been fun seeing all the children in the communities and being able to connect with them and knowing that they're coming from probably a very poor situation, and you couldn't tell while we were working with them. They just had joy and fun and learning, and that was really cool to see.
So the one thing I've always noticed when I go to, less fortunate countries is, even though things are different, they're not different wrong, they're just different. Kind of their system works for them, but you do notice a lot of similarities, right? So I notice kids are kids, moms are moms, most of the dads. They're really just people who love one another, love their communities, love their children, want to see their children have a better life than they do. And the one thing I've noticed on this trip for the guys who've never, when I say really been to a third world country, I mean have come, met people, interacted with people, and not had the Cancun experience, where you're staying in some $200 a night hotel and you kind of go through these drives and you never see more than outside the car window. I've noticed the guys who have, this is their first time, that's something that they've really taken away, is just that these people are normal people. We just happen to be really blessed with material things.
So I think what stood out to me most so far is just the faith of the people here. You come in and you come into somebody's house, and it's basically a shack of corrugated metal next to 100 other shacks that are the same, and they clear off their seats, they sweep the floor, and they ask you to sit down, which is crazy. And then they tell you this story of their life. We're just coming in to pray for them and talk to them, maybe drop off some food, and just hearing them share about all the things they're going through and all that. And the one woman she just couldn't even talk because she was just crying. She was just brought to tears. But at the same time, all these people have so much faith. They have this innate sense of, God's gonna provide. I don't understand how, I don't understand when, but they still trust him and they still actively seek him. And I think that's been one of the really incredible things for me so far.